Hi, I'm Dr. Isaac Alexis from the Slim Samurai Group 84, helping you to slash through sickness and offering you a slice of health and wellness. How's it going, my Slim Samurais and Samurettes? Today's topic, very important topic. Very, very important topic. And it's something that's close to my heart, and I'll explain to you why it's in particularly close to my heart. So I really want you to listen carefully, very closely today, of all other days. Now, topic is anemia. What they are not telling you. Once again, anemia, what they are not telling you. Now, we're going to discuss this in more in-depth details. Now, I'm going to start out by saying there's something that this here, yes, the golden cutie, delicious citrus food, this has something in common with this. Yes, and it relates to iron. Yes, the barbell has iron. But what can this help us to do that relates to iron, in particular, iron metabolism in the human body? Well, fam, let's stay tuned. Before I continue, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Like, send this to 25 of your friends. Comment so I know what to talk on for future medical topics. Now, as I told you before, my title is Anemia, what they are not telling you. Now, ever feel like you're just dragging through the day? Every minute that passes by on the job, it don't just feel like a minute. It feels like 10 hours. Holy cow. You're just this much away from telling the manager a good piece of your mind and what you really think of them. But then you remember, you can't just do that because the mortgage is due next week. Your son's baseball uniform is still not paid. And on top of that, your daughter's basketball jersey, you're 2 weeks behind on the payments. Yes, you are tired. You're feeling grumpy. You don't want no one within a mile of you. And it's only 9 a.m., yet it feels like it's 5 p.m., or it at least should be 6 p.m., and you're out of there. Yes, you're tired, and it's most likely due to anemia. Now, fam, let's closely look at the statistics. Some 3 million people are affected and have iron deficiency every year in the United States. Now, listen to this even more carefully. The number of visits to the emergency room related to anemia as a primary diagnosis is approximately 900,000. That's close to 1 million. Now, number of deaths, according to the CDC, Centers of Disease Control, number of deaths related to iron deficiencies was around 5,250. Now, let's look closely. In developed countries, iron deficiency anemia can be caused by menstrual cycles, if it's particularly heavy, hemorrhage, coughing up blood, bleeding in the urine, and undiagnosed blood in the gastrointestinal tract, blood in the stool. Now, you remember at the beginning of my video, I said this is an issue that's very close to my heart. My aunt, who was like my second mother, God bless you, Aunt Claire. I love you so much. My aunt, first signs, bloody stools, and was later diagnosed with colon cancer. But one of the first signs she presented with was iron deficiency anemia, pain in the bowels, pain in her belly, 9 out of 10 in terms of intensity, feeling tired, looking more pale than usual. So that's why this is an issue that's very close to my heart, fam. Now, There's reduced iron absorption that can occur from celiac disease. I'll explain in a later lecture what that is. Helicobacter pylori infection. This is a bacteria causing ulcers, bleeding. As a result, can express itself as with black stools. Also, another clinical condition called atrophic gastritis. Now you be asking, Dr. Alexis, what's atrophic gastritis? I'm glad you asked. In the stomach, there's chronic inflammation of gastric glandular cells and replacement after repeat inflammation of this initial gastric glandular cells. It's replaced by this intestinal type of epithelial tissue mixed in with a ton of fibrous tissue, and you can't absorb that iron no longer from that component and portion of your stomach. So very important. Now, one thing you must pay attention to, once iron is absorbed by your body, it's used as the building blocks for hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a protein found in red blood cells that help shuttle oxygen around your body. Not having enough oxygen being shuttled around the body can also lead to weight gain, also lead to fatigue, brain fog, and all of those clinical conditions. Iron also is a component of what's known as myoglobin. Now, you may ask, Dr. Alexis, what's that myoglobin? I'm glad you asked. Myoglobin is an oxygen storage protein found in your muscles. This oxygen is used, for example, when you work out. Now you may be asking, Dr. Alexis, how much iron should I be taking on a daily basis? I'm glad you asked. Excellent question. In men, 18 milligrams a day, thereabouts. In women, 12 to 14 milligrams a day. Now, in food, there's two forms of iron that nobody's talking about. You have heme iron and non-heme, Heme iron. Heme iron is the best form of iron, as non-heme iron are found in a lot of vegetarian diets, and consequently, ferritin levels were lower in vegetarians as compared to non-vegetarians. Now, you may be asking me, Dr. Alexis, ferritin, stop throwing around all these fancy terms. But I'm going to tell you, there's a method to this madness. Let me explain what ferritin truly is. Ferritin simply is an indicator of your body's iron stores. Low ferritin, you may not be getting the proper amount of iron that you rightfully deserve. You're tired, you're irritable, you're dragging around an extra 100 pounds, and that's only your left leg that's following behind your right leg. But it feels like there's an elephant draped across your shoulder. Now, you may be asking me more information about ferritin. Well, as I mentioned before, ferritin is an intracellular protein storing iron, and it releases it in a controlled fashion. In humans, it can act as a buffer against iron deficiency and iron overload. Now, we mentioned, for instance, the various constituents for non-heme iron and heme iron. An example of heme iron would be yes, that salmon will be a great source and will provide you with the omega-3, omega-6 fatty acids that you need to thrive. Now, you may be asking me, what are some of the symptoms of a low ferritin level? I'm glad you asked again. Fatigue, number one. Examples of symptoms of a low ferritin. Number two is dry skin and hair. Number three, you may be getting headaches. Number four, your heart starts to race, palpitations. your heartbeat is increasing. Like if you just drank a gallon of coffee, a gallon of espresso. Number 5, very important, difficulty breathing, not having enough ferritin, you're short of breath. This can exacerbate if you have sleep apnea, if you have COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or if you have asthma. It'll make things much worse. Now, you may be asking, Dr. Alexis, what should my ferritin levels be at? Well, in general, in men, anywhere from 20 to 250 nanograms per milliliter. And in you ladies, anywhere from 10 to 120 nanograms per milliliter. Now, this is discussed namely in a review study titled Iron Status of Vegetarian Adults, a review of the literature. This was done by Dr. Pawlak back in the Journal of the American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine back in the year 2018. Now, let's go over good food sources of heme iron. I showed you already fish like salmon. And if you like me to, at a very great price, I can create salmon dinners for you and your family that are nutritious, delicious, that will help regulate your ferritin levels, which is your iron storage levels in your body, while tasting delicious, while keeping you energized. So by the time 12 noon comes along, you're not crashing because you're so gosh darn tired. There are special keto diets I make that'll optimize oxygen, blood flow, as well as energy, as well as weight loss, enhancing various fat metabolic pathways to give you that rightful energy that you deserve. Now, other foods that are great for heme iron are tuna, perch, haddock, shellfish like oysters, clams, beef, pork, chicken, veal. I gotta admit, I have a weakness. Veal Parmesan, that delicious cheese. But if everything is done in moderation, you can splurge a little bit now and then. Now, non-heme iron, for those who are curious, comes from plants, grains, vegetables, fortified foods. Around 90% of our total iron intake in the traditional American diet is from non-heme sources, while 10% is from heme sources. Now, foods that you remember I discussed earlier and showed you what does this and this have in common. Well, iron comes to mind. Vitamin C, found in this cutie, this orange, helps the human body to absorb more iron, especially the non-heme iron persuasion. You also have foods like bell peppers, strawberries, and melons. Vitamin C, though capturing non-heme iron, like in these fruits, will at least store it in a form that's more easily absorbed by your body. So with every meal, have one of these bad boys. You can have salmon with blueberries, strawberries, with red peppers, red bell peppers. Of course, there's green bell peppers, but I discussed in my prior video the benefits of red bell peppers and orange bell peppers over the green bell peppers. And also the prebiotic usage versus probiotics, because everybody's talking about nowadays the probiotics, but what they're not telling you is that you're missing a lot of those good prebiotics, and that's going to be the thing that's going to really be the game changer in your gut-brain health. You have 2 brains, actually 3. Left hemisphere brain, right hemisphere brain, and then the brain nobody talks about that has over 100 to 150 million neurons. That's right, the enteric, the gut nervous system. There's a bunch of nerves in your gut We're going to discuss that as well. So, if you want more information like this, I can provide one-on-one consultations at my website, https://www.slimsamurai.com/ and give you and your family comprehensive medical knowledge that will be second to none. Don't forget, fam, my beloved Slim Samurai and Samurettes, you need to click on the subscribe, like, send to 25 of your friends. Now, don't forget to comment. We're family. What are you so shy for? Don't be shy. Go ahead. Comment so I can discuss what you want to hear about on the next video medically. I'm Dr. Isaac Alexis from the Slim Samurai Group 84, helping you to slash through sickness and offering you a slice of health and wellness. God bless.